So you want to edit like Alisha Marie? Well, it's pretty bold of you to come to some random girl on the internet, also named Alisha, for advice. Hey guys, what's up? It's Alisha, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to edit like Alisha Marie. But before we jump into this video, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of background on Alisha. So Alisha Marie has been on YouTube since January of 2011. She has amassed over 8 million subscribers on her main channel, 3 million subscribers on her vlog channel, and over 1 billion views on her videos combined. She mostly makes lifestyle videos, with the video content ranging from vlogs to fitness advice to fashion advice to even some challenges she does with her sorority house, which are her roommates and her sister. And as for her videos, she is known for her unique editing style, her fast-paced and entertaining videos, as well as her use of color and effects. So today I'm going to be focusing on her main channel, but if you guys want a video on how to edit like her vlog channel, Alisha Marie Vlogs, then be sure to comment that down below. So as an overview, in today's video I'm going to be talking about 3 main topics. The first I'm going to talk about are her thumbnails, the second are her editing effects, and third is how she makes her videos so entertaining. Before we get into this video though, I do have 2 quick notes. The first one is I'm not Alisha Marie, I'm just Alisha, so I don't know exactly how she edits her videos, what software she uses, who edits her videos, so I can't tell you the specifics of like software and stuff, but I can teach you as best as I know how to edit similar to her style. And 2, I have made so many editing tutorials how to edit like Alisha Marie on my channel. Be sure to check the description for those if you want to learn how to make stuff like her banners, her intros, and other stuff from the past. So first we're going to talk about thumbnails. So the things that stand out to me most when I look at Alisha's thumbnails is her use of color, her layering technique that draws your focus into one part of the thumbnail, and then her lack of text, which I will explain as I explain the thumbnails. So for this tutorial, I'm going to be using the app PicsArt, which is an iPhone editing app, and it's free. It's one that I know how to use, and it's really good for doing all the different techniques that we need to do. So the first thing you're going to want to do is load some images in the background, and then also have a foreground image, which is usually like a person or an object. I would recommend having at least 1 or more images for the background, just because you want it to look almost like a collage if you're replicating Alisha's style. What I'm doing here is I'm just adding all those photos and rearranging them, and then I'm specifically clicking on this picture of Alisha posing because I want the top of her head to pop out from the sneakers. So what I did is I went to the cutout tool, cut out it using the person option, and then I colored basically almost to the top of her head so that the top of her head didn't have any background behind it. And then what I'm doing is I'm repositioning it so it's in front of the sneakers, and this just makes it look more like of a collage, and I think it just adds something to the background so that all the images look like they go together versus them just looking like I put a bunch of images in the background. The next thing I'm doing is using the foreground. I'm going to the cutout tool and using the same person feature, and I'm actually coloring the steps behind her because I want to see how it looks. I decided I didn't like it though, so there's a tool at the top called the erase tool, and I went ahead and I just erased the part of it I didn't want. So if you do make mistakes or there's something you don't want, you can always fix it. And then now I'm just rearranging everything in the background to make sure it's not being covered up by the picture of Alisha in the foreground, and just rearranging everything how I think I like it. Now what I'm doing is I want this picture of Alisha to stand out from the rest of it, so I'm going to the adjust tool and I'm changing it to make it a little bit brighter by upping the brightness, playing with the contrast, and then also the highlights so that she looks like she's in the foreground, like she's the main focus of attention. And then I'm going to the shadow tool and just adding a little bit of a shadow in the background, nothing too opaque and nothing like super blurry. This just makes her stand out a little bit. There's this blank space, so I want to add to it. So I went to the sticker tool on PicsArt and I chose the Instagram logo, and I put that on the screen over to the right side of it and just rearranged it and added a little bit of a shadow too to make it pop. And then I also added an arrow sticker. I also edited it so the color was a black cursor instead of a white one. So I just found like a random image, and then I went to the adjust tool and then changed the brightness down, clicked apply, and then did that until the arrow turned black. And then there's also an option to add a border to it, so I added a little bit of a white border to it, and I also added a shadow and then arranged it next to the Instagram logo. And then this is pretty much what it looks like after we're done editing in PicsArt, and next we're gonna go add the text. So the next thing I'm doing is going into the app Fonto, which is another free app on the App Store, and this is how I add my text to my thumbnails. I'm just loading the image of that thumbnail and I am clicking on it, and by doing that you can add text, and I think I'm adding the text "I went online shopping" since that's what Alisha put on her thumbnail. And for the font, I think she used a form of Avenir Next. I think she used Avenir Next Condensed. This is the one that I found that was most similar. I can't tell you exactly what the font is, but this one looks really close to hers. Then I clicked on the text, went to style, and I changed the stroke to about 5 in the color black and added a shadow that was completely opaque and there was no blur, and that's how I got the text to look like hers on her thumbnail. And then what I did is I just arranged it on the thumbnail how I liked it. There's a way to tilt the text so that it is angled, so I did that. And then I just played around with it and tried to decide where it looked best. And this is the final thumbnail. A quick tip for seeing how well your thumbnails are going to perform is to actually look at them in the context of other thumbnails. A way to do this is to go on YouTube. I personally go on YouTube on my laptop so that when I'm on my home screen it shows me about 6 videos on the page. What I do is I screenshot that and then I Photoshop the thumbnails I make. I usually make 2 to 3 versions of the same thumbnail. I Photoshop those versions on top of other people's thumbnails, and then I blow up the image and put it in front of the YouTube tab so it looks like my videos are on YouTube. This way I can analyze what I need to fix. Some common things that I usually need to fix are if it looks busy, if the text is too big, if the text or some other important part of the thumbnail is being covered up by the timestamp, or if the thumbnail looks dull and doesn't really stand out from the other ones on the page. So next we're going to be talking about editing effects. In Alisha's videos, she has a very specific set of editing effects she uses to brand her content. These include recording overlays, VHS overlays, shaky text, specific fonts, and more. Just a little side note though, the branding is not just what her content looks like, it also includes the types of videos she makes, the products she promotes, her personality, etc. So now I'm going to show you guys how to get some of these unique effects. So the first effect is this recording overlay, and it's super simple to do. If you're doing it on Final Cut Pro, there's actually an effect for it, so you just put your video in and then go to the effects tab and scroll until you find the camcorder option and then drag and drop it over top. Another thing I do though, because the clip loses a lot of its color, like its saturation, is I go to the color option tool and I just overlay that on the clip, and then I turn the saturation up just a little bit so that I can bring back some of that color. If you're doing this on iMovie, all you have to do is just add whatever video you want in the background, or a photo if you want. I added this photo. And then go on YouTube and screen record a recording of a green screen of a recording, or you can download it. I'll leave a link, a media file link below, and then click on the green screen and add it as a green screen option, and it'll just play over your video, your photo, exactly like Alisha's. Another effect Alisha uses a lot in her videos is this VHS overlay, and specifically she puts it over transitions, but you don't have to. You could put it at any point in your video. What you want to do is go to YouTube and look up VHS overlays, or you can download the one I have linked down below, which is the same one I have here. But what you're going to want to do is put that over top of your video in Final Cut Pro and then go to the Luma Keyer option. Then what you're going to want to do in order to make it look a little more natural is go to the composing, go to the blend mode, change it to lighter, and then I also changed the opacity a little bit so that it blended in a little bit more with the image, and it looks pretty good from there. If you want to do this in iMovie, it's pretty much the same steps as the last tutorial that we did with the green screens, so just do the same thing but with this black screen, green screen sort of thing, and it will work and have the same effect. So the next effect that Alisha uses a lot in her videos is this shaky or glitchy text. So the only way I know how to do this is in Final Cut Pro. What you're going to want to do is go to the titles option and just pick the basic titles option and then drag and drop that onto your video. Then what you're going to want to do is go to edit your text and then change your font and the style to however you want it and change the size and such. So I just typed in Alisha Marie, changed the font to Helvetica, and then made it Helvetica bold italic, and resized it and put it in the middle of my screen. The way to add the effects is to go to the effects tabs in the bottom right, and then what I'm adding is the bad TV effect and the earthquake effect. Then once I have both of those effects there, I'm going to go ahead and play around with them to see how I like it, because I want it to still be legible so people can read it. So I'm just changing the amount per each effect until I like it. So this next effect is this transition text Alisha has to transition from her intros to her beginning talking points. So the way you're going to want to do this is to go into Final Cut Pro, and you're going to want to look for a basic title effect. Just go to your titles tab, and I literally just typed it in and searched for it. You're going to drag and drop that on your screen, and then what you're going to want to do is type the text that you want 3 times. So in this case, I'm doing Alisha Marie, and I'm typing it 3 times per line, and then I'm copying and pasting that so that it's 9 rows of that same text. A tip here though is to make sure that everything is either in uppercase or lowercase letters, because it just makes it look cleaner and less messy, because this can be a messy transition. And so once I'm done copying and pasting that, I'm just going to work on making the text how I like it. So this means changing the font to the font I want. I know Alisha uses Helvetica, and I used Helvetica Bold Oblique for this. And then what you're also going to want to do is work on resizing it and changing the tracking and line spacing. So each of the individual letters are spaced a little bit apart. So the way you do this is highlight all of the text and change the tracking, turn it up a little bit. And then with line spacing, I also turned that up a little bit so that the text was a little more separated. Once I had it how I liked it, I resized it to the size of my screen the best that it could, that I decided I liked it. And then I'm ready for the next step. Next, I copied and I pasted this same text over top of it and then just realigned it so that it was basically this, it looked like the same thing. And what I'm going to do is keyframe it. So this means that every couple of seconds it's going to move a little bit, almost like it looks like a glitch. So the way to do this is you're going to want to click on the text that you have. After you let it play for about 4 seconds, this is when I usually have it start moving. So I'll click on the text, I will go to the transform option and click on the keyframe option, which is in the top left corner of the screen where the video plays. I click on that, I hit my cursor and let it play for like a split second, and then I move the text slightly to the left. I repeat this about like 3 times, I think, moving it in slightly different directions just so that it looks sort of glitchy. And then what I do is I just click done, and I'm done with that transition for the keyframe. Once I do that, I cut off both of those texts that show that grid pattern saying Alisha Marie, and then I delete all of the text except the one where it just says Alisha Marie, like it's just one of those, and I arrange that in the middle, and that's pretty much how you get the effect. So the third thing and the last thing we're going to be talking about today is how she actually makes her videos so entertaining, and this is probably the hardest thing to do as a YouTuber. I think we can all pretty much agree that anybody can sit down with a camera with their iPhone and film a video like their Amazon favorites or their fitness routine and post it to YouTube, but it takes a lot of editing, organizing, and planning in order to make very entertaining videos like the ones Alisha does. From watching her videos, I've gathered a few things about how she does this. The first thing Alisha does to add interest is to add overlays and pop-ups where there is either a boring moment in the video or an instance where it is relevant to add one. One example is when she is mentioning how she cut her hair in this video and she adds a clip of her head getting her hair done. And another instance is her talking introduction of this video where she adds a pop-up advertising her Instagram. By adding pop-ups and overlays, Alisha is directing your eye to something new, which adds interest to the video and keeps people engaged. Alisha also uses a combination of jump cuts and zooms in order to create a sense of urgency in her videos. This gives her videos that quick pace that helps to keep people interested. Finally, Alisha uses many different styles of filming. In her videos, she uses a combination of handheld shots, she has someone else film her like her assistant TK, and tripod shots. Again, this adds a sense of newness to the video since it is a different style of shot and keeps people engaged. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video about how to edit like Alisha. I'm trying out this new series where I show my face and talk to you guys, but I also try to explain a little bit about why YouTubers do things and how they were able to be successful as well. So for example, in this video, I explained a lot of the techniques YouTubers use and some tips and stuff in order to really make your content better. So if you guys want to see more videos from me, I'm definitely going to be continuing this series, so be sure to subscribe. I also have over 600 videos on this channel if you guys want to check any of them out about editing. I have stuff from Instagram editing hacks to how to edit on Pixar, how to edit your videos, basic iMovie tutorials, like most editing questions you could probably find on my channel. Some of my videos though are from 7th grade, so I'm not promising that they're good at all. They're actually really bad, but they're still there for your entertainment and if you want to learn something, so be sure to check them out below. I think the best way to find specific videos is to check out my playlist tab on my channel, because in there I made playlists for basically every different subject I can think of. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.